What's up guys, this is Massey. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to show you how to factor polynomials. I have 7 examples. So let's start from the first one. It says x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2. And we need to factor it. So basically I'm gonna use group factoring. I'm going to factor x squared from the first two terms. It's going to be x plus 2. And I'm going to factor negative 1 is going to be x plus 2 here. So that's going to be x plus 2 times x squared minus 1. So you can write it as x plus 2. And here we have difference of squares. So I write it as x minus 1 times x plus 1. Next one is x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. How do we factor this one? We cannot use group factoring or greatest common factor, so basically we need to do the try and error. Let's use 1. When you use 1, it's going to be 1 plus 4 minus 7 minus 10, which is not going to be 0. If you use negative 1, it's going to be negative 1 plus 4 plus 7 minus 10, which is going to be equal to 0. So x plus 1 is going to be one of the factors. So if you divide the polynomial by x plus 1, so we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2 divided by x plus 1, that's going to be x squared. Multiply that, is going to be x cubed plus x squared. You subtract it, then these two cancel out. 2x squared minus x squared is going to be just x squared minus x. Now x squared divided by x is going to be just x. When you multiply that, is going to be x squared plus x. You subtract it again. X squared minus x squared is going to be 0. Negative x minus x is going to be negative 2x. Then you bring the next number down. Negative 2x divided by x is going to be negative 2. Then you are required to multiply that. It's going to be negative 2x minus 2, which is going to be 0. So you're going to say that x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2 divided by x plus 1 equals to x squared plus x minus 2. So we need to factor this one, x squared plus x minus 2. We're looking for two numbers. Product is going to be negative 2 and sum is going to be positive 1. So we're going to end up having 2 and negative 1. So that's going to be x squared plus 2x minus x minus 2. Then you group factoring x plus 2. X plus 2, you have x plus 2 times x minus 1. So the polynomial in factor form is going to be x plus 2, x minus 1, x plus 1. What are the zeros? X plus 2 equals to 0, x equals to negative 2. X minus 1 equals to 0, so x is going to be positive 1. X plus 1 equals to 0, so x is going to negative 1. So these are the zeros. But the factor form is going to be like that. Let's see the next example. Next example is x cubed minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 20. Here, if you group factor here, x squared in here, so it's going to be x minus 5. And here you can factor negative 4 is going to be x minus 5. Then you factor x minus 5, and here you have x squared minus 4, which you can write it as x minus 2 times x plus 2. Next example. It says x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 4. So again, we cannot use group factoring or GCF. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use try and error. We have 1 plus 5 plus 3 minus 4 is going to be That's 9 minus 4 is 5, so it's not equals to 0. So if you continue like that, negative 1, positive 2, negative 2, positive 3, negative 3, none of them is gonna work in here. We continue until we get negative 4 over 1. So it's gonna be x equals to 4 or x equals to negative 4. Let's see that. So it's going to be 4 cubed plus 5, 4 squared plus 3 times 4 minus 4. 4 cubed is 64. 4 squared is 16 times 5 is going to be 80 plus 12 minus 4. So as you see here, it's going to be a really large number. So it's going to be 64 plus 80 plus 12 minus 4 is going to be 152. Then we check the x equals to negative 4. That's going to be negative 64 plus 80 minus 12 minus 4. As you see here, that's going to be equal to 0. So x plus 4 is one of the factors. Now let's divide. We divide the polynomial, which is x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 4 by x plus 4. X cubed divided by x is going to be x squared times x cubed. X squared times 4 is going to be 4x squared. When you subtract it, these two cancel out. 5x squared minus 4x squared is going to be x squared. You bring the next number down, 3x. X squared divided by x is going to be x. Then you multiply it, x times x squared, x times 4, 4x. Subtracted, these two cancel out. 3x minus 4x is going to be negative x. And you bring the negative 4. When you divide it, it's going to be negative 1. Now you multiply it, it's going to be negative x minus 4 minus negative x minus 4 is going to make it 0. So when you divide x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 4 over x plus 4, you get x squared plus x minus 1. How to factor this one? We are looking for two numbers, product to be negative 1 and sum to be positive 1. Let's see what two numbers we get in here. Well, we cannot factor that here, so basically I need to use the quadratic formula. So, not factorable. I'm going to use quadratic formula. A is 1, B is 1, C is negative 1. Quadratic formula, it says x1 and x2 are negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, which is going to be negative 1 plus minus 1 minus 4 times 1 times negative 1 over 2 times 1. So that's going to be negative 1 plus minus square root of 5 over 2. Negative 1 plus root 5 over 2. Negative 1 minus root 5 over 2. That's going to be 0.618. Negative 1.618. And we had another factor to be x plus 4. So you're going to write it as x plus 4 x minus 0.618 and x plus 1.618. Or if you want to write it exact, you need to include this, or this in here. Basically this one in here and this one in here. Now let's look at the next example. It says x to the power of 3 minus 4x squared minus 11x plus 30. So again, can we use GCF or group factoring? Doesn't look like. Let's see what numbers I can get. Okay. So again, we can use px equals to 1, that's not going to be equal to 0. If you use x equals to negative 1, that's still not going to be equal to 0. Let's make it x equals to 2. In that case, it's going to be 2 cubed minus 4 times 2 squared minus 11 times 2 plus 30. That's going to be 8 minus 16 minus 22 plus 30. Going to be equal to 0. So we have x minus 2 as a factor. So we have x cubed minus 4x squared minus 11x plus 30. That's going to be x minus 2 as a factor. X cubed divided by x is going to be x squared. X squared times x, x cubed. X squared times 2, negative 2 is going to be negatives. When you subtract it, it's going to be negative 2x squared, negative 11x. It's going to be negative 2x, negative 2x squared plus 4x. When you subtract it, these two cancel out and you have negative 11x plus 30. When you divide it, it's going to be negative 15. When you subtract it, it's going to be 0. So x cubed minus 4x squared minus 11x plus 30 divided by x minus 2 equals to x squared minus 2x minus 15. Now, what we can do, we can factor this quadratic expression, which is x squared minus 2x minus 15. We are looking for two numbers multiplied to negative 15, and sum is going to be negative 2. So we're looking for negative 5 and positive 3. So write it as x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. So you factor that, is going to be x minus 5, 3, x minus 5. So you have x minus 5 times x plus 3. So px is going to be x minus 5 times x plus 3 times x minus 2. This is going to be the factored form. If you want to find out the zeros, you're going to say x minus 5 equals to 0, so x equals to 5, x plus 3 equals to 0, so x equals to negative 3, x minus 2 equals to 0, so x is going to be equal to 2. So these are going to be the zeros. Let's go to the next example. So next example is going to be x to the power of 4 this time, minus 4x cubed minus x squared plus 16x minus 12. So we need to do try and error. 1 minus 4 minus 1 plus 16 minus 12. So let's see, it looks like it's gonna make it 0. Yeah, that's 0. So one factor is going to be x minus 1. So let's divide this one by x minus 1. So we have x4 minus 4x cubed minus x squared plus 16x minus 12 divided by x minus 1. When you divide it, it's going to be x cubed times x is going to be x4, x cubed times negative 1, negative x squared. When you subtract it, you have negative 3x cubed minus x squared. Cancel out, it's going to be negative 4x squared plus 16x. When you divide it, it's going to be negative 4x. When you multiply it, it's going to be negative 4x squared plus 4x. Then you subtract it again, these two cancel out. 16x minus 4x is going to be 12x minus 12. When you divide it, it's going to be 12 in here. So 12x minus 12 is going to make it 0. So x4 minus 4x cubed minus x squared plus 16x minus 12 is divided by x minus 1 equals to x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. This is going to be the answer. Now I need to factor in this expression. So the first factor is x minus 1. Let's look at the next one. Next one is x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. Okay, let's check the Alright, so now let's look at x equals to 1. That's not going to be equal to 0. If you look at x equals to negative 1, that's not going to be equal to 0. When you make it x equals to 2, let's check that. 2 cubed minus 3, 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 12. That's going to be 8 minus 12 minus 8 plus 12. That's going to be 0. So x minus 2 is going to be the second factor. So x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12 divided by x minus 2, do it x squared. When you multiply x cubed minus 2x squared, you subtract it. Then here you have negative x squared minus 4x. Negative x squared divided by x is going to be negative x. Negative x squared plus 2x. You subtract it, is going to be cancelled out. Negative 6x plus 12 divided is going to be negative 6. When you multiply negative 6x plus 12, make it 0. So x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12 divided by x minus 2 is going to be x squared minus x minus 6. So how do we factor this part? X squared minus x minus 6. We are looking for two numbers. The product is going to be negative 6 and sum is going to be negative 1. So the answer is going to be negative 3 and positive 2. So the answer is going to be, the factor form is going to be px equals to, here we have x minus 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 1. So that these two factors, we got it already. So we have 4 roots, which makes sense because we have quartic function. Quartic function is those functions that the greatest exponent is 4. So x minus 3 is 0, x plus 2 is 0, x minus 2 is 0, x minus 1 is 0. So x is 3, x is negative 2, x is positive 2, x is positive 1. So these are going to be the zeros. Let's look at the next example. We have px equals to x4 minus 2x cubed minus 13x squared plus 14x plus 24. Let's see how to deal with this example. Make x equals to 1, so it's going to be 1 minus 2 minus 13 plus 14 plus 24. So that's going to be 24. Next one, x equals to negative 1, so I'm going to make it 1 plus 2 minus 13 minus 14 plus 24. 2 minus 13 minus 14 plus 24. That's going to make it 0. Next one is going to be x equals to 2. 2 to the power 4 minus 2 to the power 3 minus 13 to the power 2 plus 14 2 plus 24. So that was 2. So the x equals to negative 1 was equals to 0, so we don't need to continue like that. So we just need to divide it for now. So x to the power 4 minus 2x cubed minus 13x squared plus 14x plus 24 divided by the factor is x plus 1. Since the root is negative 1, the factor is x plus 1. When you divide it, x to the power 4 divided by x is going to be x cubed. Multiply that, is going to be x4 plus x cubed. You subtract it, it's going to be negative 3x cubed minus 13x squared divided negative 3x squared. We need negative 3x cubed minus 3x squared. When you subtract it, these two cancel out, and you have negative 10x squared plus 14x. Negative 10x squared divided by x is going to be negative 10x. When you multiply, is negative 10x squared, negative 10x. Subtracted is going to be 0. So that's going to be 24x plus 24 divided, it's going to be 24. So we can say x to the power 4 minus 2x cubed minus 13x squared plus 14x plus 24 divided by x plus 1 is going to be x cubed minus 3x squared minus 10x plus 24. And now I need to decompose this one. So let's look at the cubic root. Let's use x equals to 2 in this case. So we have 2 to the power 3 minus 3 to the power 2 minus 10, 2 plus 24. That's going to be 8 minus 12 minus 20 plus 24. That's going to be 0. So I have x cubed minus 3x squared minus 10x plus 24 divided by x minus 2. That's going to be x squared. Multiply the x cubed minus 2x squared. Cancel out. It's going to be negative x squared minus 10x. Divided is going to be negative x squared plus 2x. You subtract it. That's cancel out. It's going to be negative 12x plus 24. When you divide it, it's going to be negative 12. When you multiply that, it's going to be equal to 0. So the second factor is going to be x minus 2. So we have x squared minus x minus 12. So when you factor that, it's going to be x minus 3 times x plus 3. So the factored form is going to be x minus 4 times x plus 3 times x minus 2 times x plus 1. So this is the factored form. The roots are positive 4, negative 3, positive 2, negative 1. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can have access to many other videos regarding math, calculus, physics and chemistry. If you found this video useful, please like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching and have a great day.